Hi, everybody. I am Maggie Tran. I go by the pronouns she, they. I'm your writing mentor, but I also happen to be an online public figure for the Club Penguin Twitter community, and I've been at it for 8 years and counting. Today, I wanted to give you a little perspective and insight on how my Twitter account uses the rhetorical appeals to appeal to my audience. So I wanted to just briefly go over how we use the rhetorical analysis on a social media account. So in this context, rhetoric means using social media, so posts and images to persuade or appeal to an audience. And a rhetorical analysis is how you would observe how that public figure has used their social media account and the rhetorical concepts to persuade or appeal to that audience. And these are the 4 rhetorical concepts, very easy and simple and straightforward. They are applicable to like all of the social medias. Ethos is credibility, trust, and ethics. Kairos is about timeliness, which is very relevant to social media. Pathos is emotions. That's probably the easiest rhetorical concept to find examples of on social media. And logos is reason and logic. So here are some tips on your rhetorical analysis on a social media account. So when you're analyzing that account, please explicitly mention the rhetorical concept that the social media account is using and say why that rhetorical concept makes the account persuasive or appealing. For example, let's say you're looking at my Twitter profile and you find ethos. So you're going to mention, hey, Tech70 is using ethos in this post because this and that and that. And you're not only going to talk about the public figure who's using that social media account, specifically, you want to focus on the rhetorical concepts. You're going to find evidence of these rhetorical concepts. Ideally, you would analyze the newest and most recent posts for timeliness, for Kairos. Just for the purposes of this presentation, though, I'll be using my older tweets when my community was more active in the previous years. It's also possible that an element on a social media account can appeal to more than one rhetorical concept. So maybe a post could fall under both pathos or kairos. Maybe this image could appeal to logos or ethos. So as we're going through these examples, I want to challenge you and see if you might find a rhetorical concept that could also fall under another rhetorical concept. And finally, considering this is social media, there's not only text, but also plenty of visuals. So be sure to consider both of those things. And so as we're going through these examples, you'll want to pay attention to the text and images that are in the social media posts, the first impressions of that account. So their profile picture, their header image, and their short blurb about who they are, that's their bio, as well as collaborations with other members in the community. Those are really fun. So a little bit about me. My purpose in the Club Penguin Twitter community is to socialize with players and staff members of Club Penguin. So I like to mingle with other players, talk about what's going on in the game, think about the future, what events are going on. I also like to talk with the staff members about, hey, like what's going on in this game? There's a lot of events that go on and we just like to chat with one another on Twitter. I also want to serve as a good example for the community. I just want to be a good person, be kind to one another, help people whenever they need it. And through this, I'd like to foster the Club Penguin Twitter community. There, at least in the old times, there used to be a lot of people. Today, there are still some people who come on once in a while to check on one another. I'd just like to be here for other penguins and to share the wonderful experiences we had together. Especially today, I like to share nostalgic posts about Club Penguin, which you'll see soon. That's because Club Penguin was a game that started in 2005 and ended in 2017. Its successor, Club Penguin Island, began in 2017 and ended in 2018. So even though these games, which are virtual worlds where penguins, that's us players, chatted in a game and played mini games, spent time with each other within the snowy island. Even though those virtual worlds are now offline, some of us still like to talk about it. And yeah, let's go into the rhetorical concepts. So the first one we're going to talk about is ethos. Again, that's credibility, trust, and ethics. It's good to have a nice first impression when somebody comes to your profile. As you can see here, the first impressions are your profile picture, header image, short bio, and a pinned post, or on Twitter, a pinned tweet. Why don't we just go straight to my Twitter profile and we can see them right there. So both the profile picture and the header image are good quality. I have a bio that explains a little bit of who I am. I showcase my experience. So I've been playing Club Penguin since 2010. Having an expertise in something for a long period of time, that shows your ethos. I blogged about Club Penguin. I earned all the game achievements within Club Penguin while the game was still online. I visited Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada, which was where Club Penguin was headquartered and founded. That establishes, wow, Tech70 really is a big Club Penguin fan and knows their stuff. I also explain, now here's the professional side of me, where I'm going with my career. I write about travel and mental health at this Twitter handle, Mindful Maggie. I have a link to my Club Penguin blog. Having a website also establishes credibility. And you can also see here in my pinned tweet, I have good quality images of my visit to Kelowna and visiting Club Penguin's former staff members. And in all of these images, I talk a little bit about myself. I have some posts where you can learn more about me. And there's that. When you come to my profile, that's the first impression you have, and that establishes ethos with an audience. Now let's go into posts and tweets. So here I'm establishing credibility by not only answering this fellow penguin's question, but I also included a source for that answer. That way people will see that I actually did source somewhere and I'm not just coming up with a random answer out of the blue. This is something that can actually be sourced. Ethos can also be established through press features. If people want to interview somebody and ask about their experiences, you know that this person has a lot of credibility. So a friend named Arios Sudario, for her Never Have I Ever podcast, interviewed me about my experiences on Club Penguin. I also made sure to share to my followers about the podcast episode by retweeting it. And as I said before, long-time experience helps to establish that trust and credibility. So in this tweet, I talked about the good old days, 2013, 14, and 15. I was there to witness Club Penguin customs, which were really popular back then. Club Penguin customs are essentially graphics of one's penguin meant to replicate the art style of the official penguin design from the game. And I decided to talk a little history about that. And I've also attached an example. It establishes credibility because I've been in this community for so long, and here I am talking about what I experienced back then. Ethos is also established through just human goodwill, or should I say penguin goodwill. We would use follow Friday tweets, hashtag FF, to recommend to our followers to follow the people that we want to feature in our tweets. So as you can see in this tweet, I have hashtag FF, and I'm basically telling my followers, hey, these people are cool members of the community. So follow at Tiger Wolf Games, follow at Tiger98 Lee. And it also comes down to being polite, being kind. When the staff member of Club Penguin, Polo Field, came onto Club Penguin and spent time with us, I wanted to thank him for using his time to interact with the fans. That meant a lot to us. So I made sure to express that in a tweet that said, thank you. And now here we come to the timeliness of social media that's called Kairos. So that means a public figure should post content at an ideal moment, and their posts should be up to date on the latest of what's going on. Let's say there is a party going on Club Penguin. Ideally, I would want to tweet or post about this party as soon as it happened. If I were late to post about that, let's say the party started on Tuesday, but I didn't post about it till next Monday. Well, a few days has already passed. Nobody's that interested about the event anymore, even though it's still going on. Most of the interest is generated during the first few moments, first few days or so of that party, and that's where the audience will get a lot of appeal from timely posts. So here's an example of that. I posted this funny screenshot of me dressing up as Mario and pretending to slip on a banana peel like it was Mario Kart. And I made sure to come online and post this as soon as I could, as soon as the party started. And somehow that got me 37 likes. I was like, okay, cool. People are also really interested in news, especially news that reviews something that we didn't know before. I used to, but like when the game was online, I loved going to these parties hosted by staff members. Maybe they would sneak in a sneak peek or something about what was going to happen in the next few months. So in this case, I attended an event hosted by a staff member named Polo Field. And Polo Field happened to review to the people at this event of his that the party or the Club Penguin event in March would be the Puffle Party. And for us, this is really big news. We always want to know what's the next party in the next few months. And so I wanted to capture a screenshot for proof of Polo Field saying that. And then I shared this awesome news to the Club Penguin Twitter community. People also just want to know what's going on within the game. So let's say I happen to come on during Club Penguin's weekly updates. And so sometimes I will let people know what happened. If you come online now, you can expect a new Penguin style catalog, which is the clothing catalog where you can buy virtual items for your penguin. The new in-game newspaper, the Club Penguin Times, came out for you to read. And the Halloween party ended, so the island is decorated back to its normal rooms. Now we're going to talk about pathos. That's about the emotional side. That's really relevant to all of us. We all have happy, sad, joyful, angry emotions, and we connect so much through those. So it seems like, based on my 8 years as a public figure in the Club Penguin Twitter community, emotional posts, the pathos posts, seem to generate a lot of attention because of their emotional nature. I mean, we can relate so much to what's going on and whether we're feeling happy or sad. In the following pathos tweets, you'll want to see that, wow, these posts really do get a lot of eyeballs. They get a lot of shares, aka retweets and likes. So this is probably one of the heaviest, if not the heaviest, moments in the Club Penguin history. The original Club Penguin game was going to end in 2017, and in the last few hours before Club Penguin closed off their servers, people were feeling really sad about it. And so I wanted to connect with my friends in the community. I shared this GIF, this animation of this penguin smashing his or her or their flippers on the piano, expressing sadness that, oh, the game we've played together for so long is ending so soon. And yeah, this tweet somehow got 36 retweets and 67 likes. Yeah, people were just really, really sad about it and could connect to this post because they were feeling sad about Club Penguin shutdown too. There's also a lot of emotions with nostalgia. We all have a longing or lust for the past. And in my case, I'm always having nostalgia about Club Penguin, and so are a bunch of people on the internet. I decided to post this funny tweet. It's a meme of rejecting modernity and embracing tradition. So the modern thing is the Clubhouse app, and the tradition, the timeless thing that we all love, is Club Penguin. And I thought, well, Clubhouse, Club Penguin, they're both clubs. One of them is modern, one of them is old, a tradition. So I put them side by side, and ta-da, that tweet somehow got 119 likes. People love to laugh and smile. Funny memes are one of the most shareable posts on social media. This meme alone got liked 90 times within about a day. So the context of this meme was that the beta hat was a virtual in-game item, and it was very rare. People wanted it so badly, but most players didn't have this item. So I decided to have some fun with this. And I made this meme of people really wanting the beta hat, but unfortunately, like, most people don't have it. And a lot of people could relate to that, and that's how it got 90 likes. People also love to see collaborations with other members of the community. Those are always so fun to see. In this case, I organized this real life event where a total of 6 Club Penguin players, so me and 5 other penguins, came together in New York City over lunch. I collaborated with a penguin named CW700, her real name is Athena Serrano, on this event. And so she posted these pictures of the 6 of us having fun and hanging out. And I made sure to retweet this with my followers too, so they could see what's going on. And yeah, that's how this tweet got quite a few retweets and likes. It's always so fun to see people together. And when you're collaborating with one another, that's really like one of the most treasured parts of a community. And finally, we're coming to logos, which is reason and logic. So here's an example of logic, logos. I had a simple suggestion for the Club Penguin staff. I suggested to include a pause feature in Club Penguin's mini games because, hey, what if I'm in the middle of this game and I made so much progress, but I have to go to the bathroom. I don't want to stop. I don't want to like leave the game, come back to the bathroom and come back to and lose my progress. So it's reasonable, right, to suggest a pause feature. Logos can also be found in facts that you share. Those are reasonable and logical. Like a fact is a fact. And so I decided to share this historical account of Club Penguin's player card history. There's not much to it, but basically the player card design on the right is the one that's always been used in Club Penguin's history. The one on the left was a potential update to that player card design, but it was never implemented in the game. So I decided to share this fun fact with my followers. In addition, I have an opinion about this plus a source referral. So I preferred the penguin design on the right because I'm a more traditional player, and I like to keep things in Club Penguin as they are. That's just for nostalgia, right? So that was the reasoning behind my opinion. I preferred the classic penguin on the right. I also included a source about this player card design from the Club Penguin Wiki, which is a reputable page. And by sharing a source and a reasonable opinion with this fact that generates logos, it's only reasonable that, well, I'm a traditional penguin. I like the old player card, and I included a source to make sure that, yes, this is a legitimate fact. There's also logic, logos with organization, to prove my point that sled racing in the overall history of Club Penguin has jumped to so many different platforms and evolved. It made sense to include screenshots of each of these sled racing versions. If I were to say sled racing has evolved without these pictures, it wouldn't really make a whole lot of sense unless I showed people, hey, these are pictures of sled racing evolving. And so it makes a lot more sense to see them, the visuals right there and then with my point. And finally, it helps to have relevant content on a social media account. So of course I tweet a lot about Club Penguin, but knowing that Club Penguin is a Canadian-based game, I decided during Canada Day, I could take a picture of my penguin plushie holding the Canadian flag and wishing the Canadian Club Penguin staff members a happy Canada Day. All right, thank you so much for listening to all these examples of rhetorical appeals for a social media account from yours truly, a public figure for the Club Penguin Twitter community. I'm known there as Tech70CP, real name, Maggie Tran. I hope you learned a lot, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.